Olaf, when I was talking of 5D, I realized that many of you had some trouble with this particular question. So I thought maybe I go through with you. This is exercise 5D, question 17. Okay. Uh, Let me read through this question. Okay, let me roughly tell you about this vector question. Usually, typically, it's a good practice to annotate on the diagram itself. Use pencil to annotate, especially the ratios. For example, OP is P and OQ is Q. PS is to SQ is 3 is to 2. So this is 3 and this is 2 units. And then OQ to QT is 2 is to 1. And then OR to RP is 2 is to 1. So it's good to annotate this. The other thing that is good to take note is usually in a vectors question, there are different parts, part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Usually it will work this way. You need your part 1 answer for part 2. You need the part 2 answer for part 3. And you need the answer for part 3 for part 4. So it is important that you get the first few parts right. If not, everything will just snowball and then you'll get it wrong. Okay, I'm going to do this first question, and what is QP? This is part 1, QP. Okay, make sure you draw the vector sign QP. QP is actually, if you notice, is OQ minus OP. I mean, if you use the position vectors, let me erase, I'm wrong. It is, if you use the position vectors, it's OP minus OQ. I mean, you can use position vector even without looking at the diagram. And in this case, OP is actually equals to P minus Q. And remember to put the curly sign. If you fail to put the curly sign at the below the tilde sign, in prelim we will penalize you 1 mark for every question. So just bear that. Okay. Okay. The next one, part 2. Find QS. So QS is actually is 2/5 by the ratio of QP. This is the working that is required. And you see QP is found in part 1. So it's 2/5 of QP, which is P minus Q. Okay, let me move on to part 3. Part 3 asks you to find OS. OS is actually equals to OQ plus QS. OQ is actually Q, and QS is 2/5 P minus Q. See, this was found in the earlier part. Let me simplify this. It is 2/5 P plus 3/5 Q. Now, you can leave your answer like this. You don't really have to factorize. But I think it's a good practice to factorize. 2P plus 2Q. It is not necessary, but it's usually a good practice to factorize. Let me cover the next one. ST. ST is actually equals to SQ plus QP. And SQ is the reverse of this, of QS. So it is 2/5 Q minus P. I just reverse the sign. Plus QT is actually half Q. And let me simplify this a little bit. So you have 2/5 plus half. So you have 9/10 Q minus 2/5 P. If I were to bring, let's say 1/10 out, I have 9Q, minus 4P. So I found part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. Okay, the next part they ask us to show the RS is equals to K times of ST. Let me just put this first. RS is equals to K times of ST. So I've already found what is ST. So I need to find what is RS. So RS, if I look at the diagram, let's look at the diagram again. RS is actually RP plus PS, okay? Or you can put RO plus OQ plus QS, is the same. Let me take the longer route. RO plus OQ plus QS. RO plus OQ plus QS, yes, you're right. So RO is actually minus 2/3 P. If you look, because the ratio is 2 is 1, right? It's minus 2 and is the opposite direction. OQ, we know it is just Q. And Q, as we found it before, is 2 over 5 P minus Q. This is what we found. This is 2 over 5 minus P minus Q. Let me try and simplify this. This is 2/3 P plus Q plus 2 over 5P minus 2 over 5Q. Just use your calculator. This is, let me look at the P, negative 2 over 3 plus 2 over 5. So I have minus 4 over 15 P plus 3 over 5Q. And let me factorize again. In this case, I can, okay, let's try to make it to 4P. So let me try and take 1 over 15 out. So if I take 1 over 15 out, I'm left with 9Q minus 4P. So we know that, how do you find this ratio? K. So we know that RS is equals to, if you look at RS is 1 over 10, right? Okay, usually I also have this problem. So this is what I normally do. I will just write down RS is 1 over 15, 9Q minus 4P, right? And then we have ST is 1 over 10, 9Q minus 4 over P. So if I want to find the ratio, what do? I just take magnitude, divide. This will cancel off. So 1 over 15 divided by 1 over 10 is actually 2/3. So you have RS is equals to 2/3 of ST. This is the final answer. So you have shown the K is a constant, so you can write shown. Now the next part they ask, write 2 facts about the point R, S, and T. This is the part that many of you, some of you did listen to me when I was teaching in class, so I'm quite glad to see that. This is the expectation for the answer in the O level. I'm going to just clear this up and then I'll write this. The 2 facts are this. You must mention the ratio. Since RS is 2/3 of ST and S is a common point, R, S, T are collinear. Now, where does it? This is typically a 2-mark question. The first, they ask for 2 facts. The first fact is this, and the second fact is this. You must mention that S is a common point, and that is why they're collinear. Okay, that's all I have.